Entrevistas Alfa.
Hola, yo
Okay.
soy Cristina Tenorio de Alfa 91.3 y estamos con alguien muy joven que dimos a conocer en esta estación y que siempre que lo escuchamos mueve todo, pero sobre todo emociones con esa voz tan honesta. So what I was saying in English that maybe you understood because I know you speak Spanish, Mehro, is that you have an honest voice, brave lyrics. It's amazing to have you playing in our radio station ever since you started. So welcome, Mehro.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Christina, and for letting me be here and for all of your kind words. Thank you.
Mehro, are you home right now, or are you traveling? Because I saw a picture that you were not home.
Everyone thinks that I'm not home. I am home. But that video and that picture is an old picture, and that video is actually from Mexico City, the one from Explode of me singing "Exploding." So shout out Leonardo and shout out Mexico City and Mexico, everybody, everything. Shout out.
As you know, you have a lot of Mexican fans and all around the world. But do you actually get to enjoy the cities when you travel? Because sometimes there's no a lot of time to visit or eat anything.
You're exactly correct. So with Europe, it's going to be tough, except for London. London, I actually have time to take in the city, significantly more time than any other city on that tour. I've been blessed with Mexico City because I've been coming to Mexico City over and over and over again.
Mhm.
And I think the next time I go will be the eighth or ninth time that I've been.
Yes.
And when I go, Brenda has me going in a week, we'll probably do like 20, maybe 25 interviews and shows and meet and greets and interviews and the whole nine. And in between that, being able to walk the streets and being able to eat the food, Mexico City has definitely become like another home for me. I I love it, and I love the people, and it's a rare experience to be able to really know a city. And I know particular parts of the city because I know it's massive. I know particular parts of the city pretty well.
I know you're gonna enjoy. I mean, the next time that you come, wherever you walk. But if you go maybe to, I don't know, Xochimilco, Garibaldi, where we have the mariachis, you're gonna enjoy it because, as I heard in Trauma Lullabies, it's an amazing journey in sonic landscapes. It's a beautiful album, Mara. So, do you like when you have to? You're very receptive, like listening to everything and thinking a lot, thinking, yeah, a lot of things, also feeling a lot of things. In making Trauma Lullabies, what came first? Like the idea of making a certain album or the impulse of making certain music?
It wasn't even a cerebral experience, it just happened. I think the first song that was written off of this group of songs was Laughing, actually. And so that sort of opened a gateway and a door because I'd never really written a song like that before. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And time goes on, and other songs reveal themselves to you, and you realize what your soul is sort of crying out. What and if you give your creative space to just sort of make something without any thought into it, for me, in my case, I find that something better than you ever could have thought of comes out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that you have like a superpower because you can turn words into music, but not any kind of music, like really honest music. So I think that you have like the power, as I read the comments of your fans, like to heal or to give them like a really hug, a realistic hug with music. How do you feel having this superpower, as your fans can say?
It renders me speechless a little bit. I I guess I wouldn't want it any other way. I want the music to be exactly the companion that a person needs, and people need different companions at different times. So if someone needs a hug, then if my music is able to provide that, bless it. If somebody needs something else from that person, somebody just to keep them company, somebody to give them compassion, whatever it is, you render me a bit speechless. So
It's good to see you this vulnerable, because we get like the medicine, like the music, but when you are really like struggling with the cathartic moments on studio, can you remember which was the most challenging song in Trauma Lullabies, in the writing or in the recording process?
I think I sang ketamine, and I think I sang and comped ketamine, meaning like you sing it a lot of takes, a lot of times, and you pick the best of what's there at least 15 times, at least. So maybe more than that. I would say that one was the one that was the most particular, the most, because it's sort of reaching for something that isn't, there isn't something defined by it. It's sort of in like a haze and a fog, and I love the way that it turned out. It's all worth it. And we spent a lot of time on bare minimum as well. But that was pure joy, and I felt that one had more of a specific target that I was looking for. And with the help of a lot of amazing people, it came to fruition.
Like getting all this effort in making new things, and as you were saying, laughing like open the door to something new to you. What
Yeah.
other new things, like maybe in the music specific, what things you tried in Trauma Lullabies that you hadn't in Sky on Fire?
Oh, how interesting. Well, I'm such a different person now than I was writing Sky on Fire, because I didn't even know what Sky on Fire. I didn't even know it was going to be called Sky on Fire. I didn't even know what this was. It was just writing songs. And this one had a little bit more intention in it behind it, I guess. What were things that I tried? I think expansion of the sonic landscape, perhaps. I think bare minimum does that a bit. It sort of opens a different portal of another place that we could go to. Also, Sky on Fire I wrote completely by myself, and on Trauma Lullabies there are a lot of collaborations with that album. So I'm proud of that. I'm happy about that. And discussions of very serious topics like suicide, and something that just wasn't on my mind, something that I didn't think was. I talk about life and death a lot, but because it's everything. But suicide is a new one as well to bring up. With Reason to Live, that's the song that inspired that. Yeah, I think there's a few things.
There's a lot of good and new things that you said, and a lot of, as I said, your fans really rely on you as if you are. I mean, you are their friend. So, what of the lyrics, I couldn't pick any of my favorites because I love them all. But laughing, I really like the phrase butterflies, butter knives. So, a quick advice to someone that is having a bad time, how to mend a broken heart.
It's so interesting that you're asking this question. Okay. How to mend a broken heart. Um, It's it's experiencing it 100%. It's diving into it. It's working through it, not avoiding it. You're going down the hole. You're going down the slide. There's no point in trying to climb yourself back out or get or jump off of it. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. You have to go through it. And whatever you can do to, it'll be a time that is so ingrained and so valuable in your life later on. So listen to music that is comforting, listen to new music, search for something that that makes the ache more tolerable, and express yourself in some sort of way. Please express yourself in some sort of way, whether that is through poetry or dance or through painting or through whatever your art form is. Express yourself, please, because it's very valuable. And forgive yourself, forgive the person. Be on the constant pursuit of that as well, I would say.
That's a beautiful advice. Oh my God, a nice word. It's not personal, but I really love that advice. Thank you, Mehro, for that kind words to your fans. If someone is listening and needed that advice, there you go, from Mehro. Let's talk about, I'm going to change the subject a little bit because we are playing Cynical in Alpha 91.3. It's on the top five. So my boss,
No, are you
yeah,
serious?
yeah. My boss is a big fan of you. And my
Who's
boss
your
is like
boss?
the boss of radio, Toño Esquinca. So
Let's go.
every time he plays the song, he's like Merito, like talking like if you were like Little Mirror, Merito. And he says, "Oh my God, let's thank Merito's dad because maybe he played The Cure a lot of times to him, so he had this good inspiration to make Cynical. So listen to him." And every time he introduces you, he says that you have a really good taste in music and influences from your family. So is it true? I mean, we gotta tell him, is it true that you maybe were a little bit inspired or you listened to The Cure when you were a kid?
I love The Cure. I fucking love The Cure. Excuse my, pardon my language. I love The Cure. And if anyone's making a connection to the music I make with The Cure, then I'm doing something right. So I'm sure Cure fans would be upset by that by that comparison, but I love them. I love the band, and yes, I do. And if that song makes them feel that way, we're doing something right.
You're doing a lot of things right, Mero. So,
My
just
family calls me Merito, by the way.
Merito? Oh, Merito.
Yeah.
Okay, Merito, thank you for your time. We have two more questions.
Yep.
So, since the Olympics are happening, let's
Yep.
say that you have three medals to give to emotions that you put into making trauma lullabies, okay? So, to which emotion would you give gold, silver, and bronze? The emotions are melancholy, hope, and discipline.
How interesting. I think I have to give discipline the bronze. I think I have to give hope the silver, and I think I got to give melancholy the gold because the album is very melancholic. I
Yeah.
would say. What
Okay.
what what would you do? What would you do?
I would put like, it's because I hear a lot of discipline in you when we talked like 5 years ago. And
Hmm.
you always analyze and listen to new music. So I think the discipline I'll give like the silver,
Okay.
hope the bronze, and yeah, melancholy the gold medal.
I thought about that too. I thought about that too, but just in I'm happy with that as well. But yes, we both agree. It's very melancholic.
Okay, so Merito, last question. So I'm a really big fan. I was watching the YouTube live where you introduced Trauma Lullabies, and I couldn't listen to the whole story where you mentioned your grandma and the painting that she loved. and then you had something red in your hair, and that inspired like the cover of the album, right?
So, my grandfather was a professor at USC, and they would take sabbaticals to teach kids in Italy in the summers. So for many summers, my grandparents would go to Italy all over the country, and they spent a lot of time in Florence. And one time while they were out there, they went to the Uffizi Gallery. This was sometime in the 70s, according to my grandma. She saw this painting of the angel playing the lute, which is the painting that is the artwork for and she just fell in love with it. And she bought these huge posters of it and got them framed and made them look really nice. And obviously, and a very long time goes by, and she's in love with this painting. It's always on her wall. And then I come into the world, and the angel's hair is sort of red, and my hair was a little bit red, a lot more red than this when I was born. And so when she saw me, it was as if that she created me, she manifested me.
Yes.
And when I looked into her eyes for the first time, she said that I looked at her like it was like, "What are you doing here?" That was my reaction to her, as if we had known each other previously.
Wow.
And so she says that I'm her angel, and that she manifested me. And I was just always around this painting. I always saw this painting growing up. And my mom and I were at the Uffizi Gallery, and we were looking for it, and we saw it. We found it. So small, such a small painting. And because in my house, in my grandma's house, it's massive. It's huge. But in the actual painting itself is the size of this computer screen. And my mom had the idea of having it be the artwork for the album while we were there, looking at it. And I'm like, I mean, it seems perfect. Why would we do anything else? And so it's an album dedicated to my mom. It's released on her birthday. And a little also slightly dedicated to my grandma as well. Very much so. I love her very much. So that's the story behind the piece. And I have this necklace too.
Oh,
Somebody made it.
Yeah.
Somebody made it. It says Trauma Lullabies on it, like that too. Shout out Alfa.
It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing a lot of you in this little time. Thank you, Mehro. We know that you love Mexico. Amas a México, a tus fans, y sé que les puedes dar un mensaje if you want in English or in Spanish. I'm gonna hide myself so you can have like the whole picture to you.
How do I say I love you all?
Los amo a todos.
Los amo a todos.
There you go.
Los amo a todos. Muchas gracias para todo. Y just thank you. And I can't wait to be back and play for you and see you and say hi once again to new friends and to old friends as well. Viva Mexico.
I'm not gonna ask for dates, but you are coming to Mexico again, right?
I don't have any dates. If I did have dates, I would tell you immediately so that we could sell as many tickets as possible. But there's no doubt that I'm coming back. Yes, I'm coming back.
Can't wait to have you, and I'm gonna take you to Garibaldi so you can enjoy a little bit more of Mexico and the sounds of here. Thank you, Mehro, Merito. Thank you for this time.
Thank you, Cristina. And you can always call me Mehro. It's just the Mehro. But,
Mehro.
That's what my brother specifically calls me that.
Thank you, Mehro. Thank you for your time. Y pues aquí van a poder escuchar la entrevista y Mehro próximamente y seguirá sonando con Cynical y con todo aquí en Alfa 91.3, donde todo nace.
Entrevistas Alfa.